Hi, I'm Frank Martinez, Business Development Director at Core Wireless. Today I'm joined by Brian Boychuk from BeWhere. BeWhere specializes in creating cost-effective innovations for inventory management and asset tracking, aimed at enhanced efficiency, customer satisfaction, and reduced downtime. Their standout product is a low-power cellular asset tracking solution, ideal for industrial settings requiring ruggedized and weatherproof devices. But I did want to give you a chance to tell us a little about BeWhere and the solutions you guys offer.
Okay, well, BeWhere, the co-founders of BeWhere, the senior management team, we were successful co-founders of and pioneers actually in the SaaS vehicle telematics space some 25 years ago. Actually, it'll be 25 years this December. And, we used to get the question all the time, can you track the stuff in the back of the vehicle? And the majority of the time, the answers were not cost effective, and at the least, they were never simple. So with the advent of 5G and more directly 5G IoT using low power 5G, we recognized that there was some disruptive possibilities for low cost cellular asset tracking that had been missing when we were doing the telematics space. So the company became a North American pioneer in the use of these networks for asset tracking. We had our first initial pilot. Our first pilot was on the initial production tower in Canada back in 2017, the fall of 2017. And we began commercial sales back in 2018. Our general focus has been around evolving asset tracking devices and software that leverage the low power, low cost elements of that network design. Part of that growth is a reflection of just how large the addressable asset tracking market is. And us recognizing it early also feeds into that.
Gotcha. Now, you touched on a lot of different points of all the changes and all the products, but in this kind of industry, in this continuously evolving industry, what gaps would you think that BeWhere fills that other competitors or other companies out there don't?
With the introduction of LTE-M or Cat-M1, depending on who you're talking to, the power consumption profile, the low chipset costs, and the frugal data consumption have really kicked open the door to a dramatically wider range of asset tracking ROIs. Again, because of our experience in vehicle tracking, we kind of recognized this early and jumped on it immediately to provide carriers and telematics vendors with solutions to easily leverage their existing client bases, but also attract some new ones, extend their offering. Because BeWhere is an end-to-end solution, we manage and device and firmware design, as well as the design of the back-end software and API development. So we're essentially set up to be an agile design and development shop which helps us address the evolving needs of partners and their enterprise customers in a way that really isn't available for most folks. Some people are just reselling a third-party hardware. What you see is what you get. And as first movers, we've gained the advantage of a ton of in-market experience. We've gained an understanding of what our software and carrier partners are experiencing and what their end users want and need. So, that experience is reflected in our fourth generation LTE-M devices released last year. It's the right mix of price and functionality. And, that experience will be reflected in the design of our next generation devices that's well underway.
Thank you for that, Brian. It kind of leads into my next question, but I feel like we almost kind of touched on it a little bit because I think what BeWhere does is in itself a differentiator. But I want to give you the option with me knowing that you have a phenomenal lineup and you sell countless customer needs. But what would you say is BeWhere's, as a company, their biggest differentiator? Again, you have a phenomenal lineup and you guys solve a ton of customers' problems, make them more profitable, make them more successful. But if you were to pick one, what would be your number one differentiator for BeWhere?
Our agile development, Frank, has been a real plus for us. We launched early. We weren't sure. One of the challenges most people will face with IoT is it's an obnoxiously large market, and it's trying to wrap your mind around the individual segments. And we recognized early on that was that complexity was part of the frustration, and it's just the way of the world. But We got out in the market early. We designed some low cost tracking devices, got out there early, started to play, started to see what the end use cases look like, found out what people liked. So that experience has really helped drive a lot of the design and development we had. You can't rest on your laurels. You got to continually um, keep things moving. It's not a mystery, for end users, having asset tracking in place has proven to increase, operational efficiency, cuts back on loss, enhances customer service. We're on our fourth generation devices. They're more rugged and incorporate more advanced features than, when we launched 6 years ago. And
Yeah,
while price is often a motivator, and we're very price sensitive at BeWhere, when push comes to shove in the trade-off analysis that we did with our customers, we learned that features that we built into our fourth gen held a higher level of importance to folks. So things like indoor location using Wi-Fi location or a BLE transceiver, in addition to our standard arrays of sensors, really hit a sweet spot.
gotcha. Um, and we already know this, but BeWhere is known for real-time location tracking with multiple segments, including transportation, shipping, and many more. But kind of like what you were saying about your success and adapting to your clients, what segments would you tell T-Mobile to focus on partnering with BeWhere in?
Good question. There's a couple, Frank. Transportation shipping are certainly low-hanging fruit, given that in many cases, there's they have their customers have an existing vehicle tracking system in place. We know that they sell Geotab and other solutions. Um, BeWhere is an open system, so while we have a standalone web solution, most of our business is APIs into third-party applications. The innovation in networks is only matched by the innovation in business models. So we recognize that we're not going to recreate these systems from scratch. We do have a standalone web solution, and a number of T-Mobile customers use that in the transportation space, like new operations or folks transitioning from an older software to a new application like Geotab or others. Um, but also, there in the transportation shipping, there are retailers and wholesalers who have fleets of trailers, but they outsource the movement to third-party trucking companies and their drivers. So that ability to independently track their trailer assets is an invaluable tool. So we have a BSO Plus that we came out with. It was designed for trailer tracking, but more importantly, trailer leasing companies rely on mileage homometers to figure
Yeah,
out how much to bill their clients. And the BSO Plus was designed to do more frequent tracking to feed those systems to give more accurate mileage remotely, because it's not always a huge motivator to the clients to report their homometer. So now they can augment that information. The devices like the miniaturized B Mini that we developed a couple of years ago, that provides a tool for supply chain visibility, an option to keep track of those, shipments, especially for folks who maybe don't have trailers or don't have fleets, and they totally rely on third-party vendors. And this now gives them, more control, that they can track an individual shipment that could be part of a larger one, and from a customer service perspective, from a management, that accurate information provides them better planning and so on. But having said that, that B Mini, we're seeing in T-Mobile some healthcare examples where we're tracking, expensive equipment in-home patient that goes to in-home patients for long periods of time. So some high value stuff. And it's a problem of scale, right? Typically, you have a small team managing a large number of these things going out the door. So it's easy to get them out the door. It's keeping track of them out in the wild that's the issue. And by putting a B Mini in the mix, it has indoor location. You can have it turn down the tracking if you're expecting it to be out for 6 months. You know where it is, but it's in that location for a period of time. And there's the market there that is starving for applications like the B Mini to help cut back on their costs. Um, we are playing in the construction market. One of our partners in the software side specializes in construction asset software. So some of the design of our hardware, that design flexibility I referenced earlier, came from requirements that they were seeing. So our Be Wired can be used to tap into ignition wires to capture engine runtime on things like generators or
Yeah.
even bobcats, stuff like that. So um,
I'll kind of go into the next question. With all the success that you guys have had at BeWhere, where do you guys see the next steps in maybe let's say the next 3 to 5 years? I know you guys have different generations, whether it's the B Soul, the B10 Plus. What do you see coming out or changing in the next 3 to 5 years, if anything? I mean, you guys are successful as it is, so it might be nothing major, but it might be that you're already thinking of the next 2 to 3 generations of another product.
well, that's a good question. I mean, it's hard to gaze in the crystal ball, and things move so quickly. It's hard to plan long term. We try to remain nimble, and that's paid off. I mean, we've seen a lot of success in the past this year with some larger enterprise engagements where there's certainly just a little amount of customization required, whether it's firmware on the device to capture information in a certain way, or in the back end, integrating with an Azure system or increasing the security to meet the security standards. Lots of folks are security sensitive these days, so we can customize this, our data feed to meet all their higher level security requirements. More of that, that ability to customize. We've got some new development occurring on hardware front that's basically driven by these use cases that folks have overturned. So that those kinds of engagements are certainly paying off, and it's kind of trickle down. So the work you do for some of these large
Mhm.
enterprise opportunities can apply to a broader client base. So we'll continue. We're not going to rest on that. There's all kinds of things coming. There's the folks refer to NTN or non-terrestrial network, where you'll be able to basically have cellular connection to the birds in the sky. I mean, stuff like that's coming. But in general, working with your team, it's we're finding all these opportunities. We can do some customization, but what we have in the kitty already can also address a wide variety of use cases that exist today. And I think it's early goings. I referenced it's 25 years since we launched telematics, and there's still a ton of vendors out there.
That's awesome. And that's a great call out, the customization, because as we know, a lot of these business customers want something that's set up specifically for them. And then we can, again, like you said, use that scenario and kind of overlap it into that next customer where they can actually use that benefit. So that's a great call out. Um, how has your partnership with Core and T-Mobile for Business had an impact on your business, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, no, I mean, you've nailed it, Frank. You guys have been with us from the beginning. The core BMP team, when we first launched, I think it was 2019. I mean, I think my first time I was going to meet you guys, I was going to jump on a plane, and COVID stopped everything.
Yep.
We were on NB-IoT at that time. That was the initial direction we were given, and then transitioned to LTM. Um, Given your background, your colleagues' background, working at T-Mobile, I mean, you guys have consistently provided us with valuable insights and guidance, and working with the T-Mobile channel, and really helped us achieve those early quick sales wins that got us going. Anybody on our team, in all sincerity, we've really enjoyed working with you guys over the years, and we've developed some great memories. And you shared some of those for sure.
Great
And we're
memories and great relationships. I mean, it's a great partnership. And again, I keep on going back to the word because it's it's what this business is built around. And it's a great relationship. It's a phenomenal relationship that we've developed and we've gotten to where we need to get to. But we kind of went over a lot of different topics and a lot of different things that BeWhere can do and Core can do and T-Mobile can partner with and create that success. But at the end of the day, what would be your like one line solution pitch? The one thing agents, customers, or connectivity partners should remember about your business, about BeWhere?
um, I think the key thing, I touched on our experience in the market. We're successful entrepreneurs in the telematics space, and we're applying that knowledge, that experience to the world of asset tracking. That focusing on that continuous improvement of where we're at. All of that, I think, you'll see it in our numbers. We're doing very well, and it's really an offshoot of that continuous focus.
And again, I appreciate all these answers and everything we've just discussed, but I kind of want to just recap it a little bit. And I just want to thank you again, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. Strategic partnerships like the one between Core, T-Mobile, and BeWhere has already proven successful over time. We're excited to see what the future brings, but I do want to also give people a way to get in contact with us. So, sorry. To learn more about BeWhere, I would say please contact Brian Boychuk at BeWhere.com. If you're interested in joining the Core Partner Program and leveraging the T-Mobile for Business connectivity, connect with BMP_sales at corewireless.com. Again, I think the main features and benefits of BeWhere in asset tracking, whether it is transportation, shipping, healthcare, construction, at the end of the day, they will create the solution or they have the solution built, but they can customize that to solve any need and show success for with you guys, with Core, with BeWhere, with T-Mobile, and just show success for every party included. So, Brian, again, thank you for your time. It was exciting for me. I enjoyed this, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.